3 simple steps sa pag-adjust ng macronutrients sa low carbs. This is a very simple strategy para sa mga nagsisimula pa lang, especially sa mga taong merong goals when it comes to their weight, either bulking or weight loss. And good news, kapag ipa-follow nyo yung 3 simple steps na ito, it is still going to support you when it comes to your goal for healing. So, simulan natin. The first among the 3 macronutrients, kasi meron tayong fats, protein, and carbohydrates. And since low carb ay yung tawag natin sa ating way of eating, we will start with carbohydrates. Maximum carbohydrate in a day. Limit natin to 50 grams lamang. So that is maximum ha. So if you choose to not have carbs, so zero carbs, okay lang din. But when it comes to starting, para hindi mo na all in na wala talagang carbohydrate, you can choose any carbohydrate na merong 50 grams. Ano ba ang 50 grams ng carbohydrate? So, eto, yung mga plate na ito are all 20 grams of carbohydrates. So, 2.5 slice of bread is already good enough when it comes to 50 grams. Ang patatas naman, dalawang maliliit na bilog na patatas, that's already 50 grams. 1 cup na siksik na kanin, that is already 20 grams. Kung yan lang yung kakainin nyo, especially you will eat that first thing in the morning, most likely mahihirapan kayo sa ating low carb journey kasi mas gugutumin kayo. These are starch na madaling mako-convert into glucose and it will spike your blood glucose na after 1 to 2 hours, most likely you will crave for more. That is why kung mag 50 grams of carbohydrate ka in a day, you better choose the more complex and more bulking, yung medyo malaki sa tiyan, makakasiksik ng ating tiyan, especially sa mga sanay na maramihan yung kinakain, you can actually choose a better option, which would be low-carb vegetables. So, low-carb vegetables, eto, yung picture na yan, two ways of 20 grams of carbohydrates. So, feeling mo, saan ka mas mabubusog? It's a no-brainer, of course, the one na punong-puno, di ba? And still, pareho lang yung carbohydrate na kanilang laman. But the most important part, this one, yung puno ng low-carb vegetables, they are actually loaded with vitamins and minerals. So these are other 20 grams of plates in a day. So actually, pwede mo kang pumili ng any 2.5 of these plate and you can already get your 50 gram of carbohydrate in a day. For those na madaling mabusog, so it's not recommended to eat so much ng mga ganitong bulky kasi nga mawawala na kayo ng space sa tiyan nyo with the other more important macronutrient. Ibig sabihin, the carbohydrate here is not essential, optional lang siya at pwedeng-pwede na hindi siya kailangang kainin. So we move on to our next macronutrient would be proteins. In a basic na amount, you can just have 1/2 kilograms, kalahating kilo ng kahit anong karne in a day. So, pwedeng beef, pwedeng chicken, pwedeng isda, any proteins, any kind of meat, pwedeng seafood, pwedeng hindi seafood. This will be equivalent to about 100 grams. So remember, ang proteins is 100 grams on average unless meron talagang contraindication sa inyo. But this is on average, especially sa mga nagsisimula pa lang. And minimum, ibig sabihin, pwede pa itong i-increase, especially if your goal is muscle building or muscle bulking. And of course, when you do that, remember, you have to pair it up with physical activity, exercises, weightlifting, para mas ma-promote yung muscle growth. So, you can have chicken. So, chicken isa sa pinaka-basic na source of proteins natin. You can also have lean meat like pork or beef. And these are the other samples of mga proteins that you can have. For every 100 grams of meat, merong ng beef, merong 26 grams. Chicken, 27. And then, camel, 22. Wala naman tayong camel dito. Duck, just 19. Rabbit, 33. Goat meat is 27. So, chicken and goat meat, they are the more siksik when it comes to protein. And these are the lean parts yung hindi, walang taba, walang oily part because we are just talking about protein components. You can also have isda, bangus, and other fishes. So when it comes to sardinas naman, in a day pwede kang makakain ng 33 pieces of sardines. That will give you around 100 grams of protein. So yan, murang-mura ang sardinas dito sa Pilipinas. We are talking about fresh sardines na bibilhin nyo sa palengke at hindi yung sardinas na nakakana. Okay? We want you to eat as fresh as whole food as possible. And lastly, ano naman yung gagawin natin sa fats? So as much as we are not afraid of fats, we also don't need to overdo it. If mataas na yung cholesterol, yung triglycerides niyo sa katawan, yung LDL niyo, then you can still use that. So hindi niyo kailangan maging sobra-sobra sa inyong fat intake. And for those naman na mataba pa, na gusto pa mag-weight loss, you might want to also cut on your fat intake para mabigyan ng pagkakataon na yung fat mo sa katawan will be burned. So the fats that we are eating is just enough to supplement lang yung pangangailangan natin in a day so that hindi rin tayo maging over na calorie deficit talaga sa ating araw-araw. So if you can tolerate more space in your tummy, you can eat fats that are bulky. So, for example, kalahating slice ng avocado, meron siyang 12 grams of fat. Whereas kung ikaw naman ay madaling mabusog, then you can choose the lighter sa tiyan na fat, which is oil or butter. So, those will give you 14 grams of fats per tablespoon. So, since nasa 50 to 100, so at least siguro mga 4 around 4 tablespoon ang gagamitin nyo like sa pagprito o pagluto, you can already easily add fats to your intake. And of course, may mga pagkain talaga na mayaman sa proteins and fats. Say for example, pork belly. So if kumakain ka ng fatty meat na, so meron ka ng proteins dyan, meron ka ng fats dyan. So hindi nyo na kailangan magdagdag pa ng butter or magdagdag pa ng sobrang daming oil because you are already eating a combination of fats and protein. So you have to have that into consideration. So as a recap, 3 simple steps sa pag-adjust ng macronutrients sa low carb. Carbohydrate limit, maximum yung 50 grams and it can be as low as 0. Pwedeng wala. Yung proteins naman is no-brainer lang para madali lang natin matandaan kalahating kilo ng meat in a day and it can be in many forms of meat. And also, lastly, when it comes to fat adjustment, it depends on your goal, whether for weight loss or for weight gain or also when it comes to your energy needs in a day. And meron tayong isang pinaka-importanting food dito which is egg kasi yung egg po meron ng combination ng proteins and fats at halos merong mga nasa 1 gram, less than 1 gram of carbohydrates in a day. So nagtatanong, ilang itlog yung pwedeng kainin in a day? So if we are looking at this computation, kung puro itlog lang, which is again not sustainable and not ideal and not recommended, but to answer your questions, gaano karaming itlog yung pwedeng kainin in a day? You can have this as computation. Kapag kakain ka ng 17 eggs in a day, that is equivalent to 765 calories of fats, 408 calories of proteins, and 68 calories of carbs. So a total of around 1,241 kilocalories, which is still 800 calories kulang para sa isang 70 kilogram physically active male. So that's our lesson for today and you can appreciate more on this sa ating safe list. Just look up JGC Rojo Food List. Maraming salamat everyone. I hope to see you in our National Low Carb Day. Until next time, this is your Diet Doctora. Always remember to stay low carb so that we all stay safe. Bye-bye. Thank you so much.